Greetings, esteemed friends and curious souls. I am Emperor Anthemius, fully known as Procopius Anthemius, names that resonates with the final echoes of a once mighty Roman Empire. Sit with me as I unravel my tale, one that intertwines destiny, betrayal, and fleeting glory. To truly understand my journey, we must begin where all stories do, at the beginning. I was born not in the Western Roman Empire that I would rule, but the East, in Constantinople, in the 420. My father, Procopius, was a stern but just man. As commander of both cavalry and infantry for the Eastern Roman Empire, he was a figure of immense respect and discipline. My earliest memories are painted with the clanging of swords, the stern instructions of military strategy, and the subtle warmth of familial love. It was through my father's esteemed position that I first met Emperor Marcian. I was but a boy, standing in awe before the grandeur of the emperor's presence. Marcian, however, was more than just a ruler. He became a trusted friend. Through him, I encountered my destiny's harbinger, his daughter, Marcia Euphemia. Her presence was a beacon in the often tumultuous sea of my early life, and the fates would indeed gift her to me as a wife in later years. My upbringing was steeped in the rich traditions of the Eastern Roman Empire. I was educated in the classics, philosophy, and the art of war. From the bustling streets of Constantinople to the serene halls of my family's estate, my youth was a blend of intellectual rigor and martial discipline. My Greek heritage, however, would later cast a shadow on my reign, as suspicions of my intentions to restore paganism would tarnish my popularity in Italy. As I grew, so did my responsibilities. My father's stern but loving guidance prepared me for the burdens that lay ahead. Yet, even with the weight of expectation, there was room for joy. I remember vividly the day Marcia Euphemia and I were wed, a union that not only solidified my standing, but also brought personal happiness. As we delve deeper into my story, you will see how these early experiences shaped my rise to power, my reign, and ultimately, my downfall. But for now, let us savor the innocence of youth and the promise it held, a promise that would soon be tested by the harsh realities of leadership. The Western Roman Empire, Libius Severus, was murdered by Ricimer in 465. My life, that of my family, and the Western Empire would never be the same. But before I can tell my tale, I need to introduce you to my nemesis, Ricimer, the man responsible for my ascension to emperor and to my downfall and death. Ricimer, that vile son of a barbarian, was born around 405 AD to a Suebi father and a Visigothic mother under some slimy, moldy rock somewhere in Germania. He slithered his way into power through deceit and treachery, rising to prominence in the decaying Western Roman Empire. Despite his barbarian blood, he commanded legions and manipulated politics with the cunning of a serpent. The power vacuum left by our crumbling empire was his breeding ground. This treacherous dog exploited our internal strife and weak leadership, turning the chaos to his advantage. His military prowess was undeniable, but it was his insidious talent for forming strategic alliances that solidified his control. He treated emperors like pawns, placing and removing them at will, always ensuring he remained the true power behind the throne. When Majorian, a capable and ambitious ruler, dared to challenge Ricimer's dominance, Ricimer had him captured and executed in 461 AD, despite their earlier friendship. Next came Libius Severus, a compliant puppet who served Ricimer's purposes until his death in 465 AD, a death undoubtedly orchestrated by Ricimer's treacherous hand. Then it was my turn to be used and discarded. In 467 AD, the Eastern Emperor Leo I appointed me as the Western Emperor, hoping to forge a strong alliance against the Vandals. Ricimer, ever the manipulative bastard, accepted my appointment, but his support came with a price. He demanded that I marry my beloved daughter, Alypia, to him. I capitulated, hoping to secure peace, but this union only deepened my family's misery. Ricimer's demands and manipulations knew no bounds. He was a scourge upon the empire, a parasite feeding off our suffering. His forced marriage to Alypia was a vile attempt to cement his power, to entwine his loathsome self with the imperial lineage. But it only fueled the fires of our mutual hatred. Tensions between us escalated, culminating in a brutal power struggle. Ricimer, the wretched snake, besieged me in Rome. My forces were defeated, and I, a proud emperor, was reduced to hiding in rags. When they found me, I was unceremoniously beheaded by Ricimer's orders. My death was the final act in his play for power. But my story does not end with my last breath. Ricimer, that accursed fiend, embodied the decay of our once great empire. His rise to power through treachery and bloodshed, his manipulation of emperors, and his ruthless ambition were the harbingers of our doom. My tale is but a chapter in the tragic decline of the Western Roman Empire, and Ricimer, that thrice-damned villain, played his part to perfection. The echoes of Rome's glory may still whisper through the ruins, but let my story stand as a testament to the treachery and betrayal that hastened our fall. Ricimer may have silenced me, but the truth of his villainy endures. Strife and unrest and Ricimer's machinations left the Western throne vacant for over a year. Rome was bereft and slipping into further decay. 2 years on, my future came into focus. The year was 467. The day I ascended to the throne was a day steeped in both triumph and trepidation. It was not just the culmination of my life's work, but the beginning of a journey fraught with challenges that I could never have foreseen. I still remember the joyous tears in Marcia Euphemia's eyes and the prideful smiles of my children. Most of all, I remember the birth of our beautiful daughter, Alypia, who was my pride and joy. Her laughter and innocent eyes gave me strength as I prepared to take on the mantle of emperor. Emperor Leo I of the Eastern Roman Empire, Marcian's successor, saw in me a suitable candidate to bring stability to the turbulent Western Empire. I was summoned to his court, where, after a series of intense discussions and political maneuvers, he appointed me to the office of emperor. With a heart full of hope and a mind sharpened by years of preparation, I embarked on my journey to Rome. However, my path to power was not without its shadows. The vile yet powerful kingmaker Ricimer loomed large in the west. He had orchestrated the downfall of my predecessors, Majorian and Libius Severus, assassinating them to maintain his grip on the empire. My ascension was conditional upon a bitter agreement. Ricimer demanded that my beloved daughter Alypia take his foul hand in marriage. The day I capitulated to his demands was one of the darkest in my life. Marcia Euphemia and I had always dreamed of a joyful future for Alypia, one where she could choose her own path. Yet, for the sake of the empire and to secure my position, I handed her over to a man I despised. Alypia's brave face as she walked down the aisle masked the sorrow we both felt. It was a sacrifice that haunts me to this day. Once in power, I endeavored to restore stability and prosperity to the empire. My first major undertaking was to muster a vast expedition against the Vandals in North Africa, a threat that had long plagued Rome. The campaign, though ambitious and joined by Leo's forces for a joint military campaign, ended in utter defeat. The loss was a devastating blow to both the Empire's resources and my reputation. The whispers of discontent grew louder, and the bond between Ricimer and myself began to fray. But let us not dwell solely on the sorrow of those days. There were moments of camaraderie and triumph as well. I remember the council meetings with my trusted advisors, where we would strategize late into the night, driven by a shared vision of a renewed Rome. Despite the challenges, there was always a glimmer of hope, a belief that we could turn the tide. As we proceed, you will see how these moments of hope clashed with the harsh reality of political intrigue and betrayal. The tale of my reign is one of relentless struggle, where loyalty was scarce and enemies lurked in every shadow. Stay with me as we navigate the tumultuous waters of my time as emperor and uncover the trials and tribulations that defined my rule. The burdens of leadership are heavy, and my reign as emperor was marked by a series of relentless trials that tested my resolve and fortitude. As the Western Roman emperor, I faced a multitude of challenges, each more daunting than the last. From the very outset, I endeavored to bring stability and prosperity to an empire teetering on the brink of collapse. However, the vast expedition against the Vandals, which I had hoped would be a decisive victory, ended in a disastrous defeat in 468. The failure was a grievous blow, draining our coffers and sapping the morale of our legions. The aftermath saw Rome struggling to maintain its hold on the provinces, and my popularity waned as the whispers of dissent grew louder. Among my most significant challenges was managing the intricate and treacherous political landscape of the empire. Ricimer, the kingmaker, whose support had secured my ascension, grew increasingly hostile. Our alliance, built on fragile terms, began to crumble as Ricimer's ambitions clashed with my vision for Rome. The tension between us escalated, culminating in a bitter rivalry that would seal both our fates. My court was a den of vipers, with each senator and advisor harboring their own ambitions and agendas. Trust was a rare commodity, and betrayal seemed to lurk around every corner. Yet, amidst the political machinations, there were moments of genuine camaraderie and loyalty. I recall the evenings spent with my closest allies, strategizing late into the night, fueled by a shared hope for a renewed Rome. These moments, though fleeting, provided solace and strength to persevere. One of the most poignant and personal struggles I faced was the toll my position took on my family. My beloved Marcia Euphemia stood by my side, a pillar of support in the storm of politics and war. Yet the sacrifice of our daughter Alypia to Ricimer's schemes weighed heavily on us. Alypia's marriage to Ricimer was a constant reminder of the compromises I had made, and her stoic endurance in the face of such a fate was both heartbreaking and inspiring. Despite the turmoil, there were glimpses of hope and progress. I worked tirelessly to reform the administration and improve the welfare of the citizens. I sought to foster alliances and strengthen our defenses, ever mindful of the external threats that loomed large. The specter of the barbarian invasions was a constant threat, and I strove to fortify our borders and maintain the integrity of the empire. However, the growing animosity between Ricimer and myself could not be contained. Our once tenuous alliance devolved into open conflict. In 472, Ricimer besieged Rome, and the city became a battleground. The struggle for control was fierce, with my loyalists clashing against Ricimer's forces in a desperate bid to maintain my reign. The walls of the Eternal City echoed with the sounds of battle, and the streets ran red with the blood of soldiers and civilians alike. As the siege dragged on, the situation grew increasingly dire. Food and supplies dwindled, and morale plummeted. The once vibrant city became a shadow of its former self, a symbol of the empire's decline. In the end, my forces were overwhelmed, and the city fell to Ricimer's army. But this is not the end of my tale. The final chapters of my story are yet to unfold, filled with betrayal, downfall, and legacy. Stay with me, dear viewer, as we delve into the final days of my life, the legacy I left behind, and the lessons that echo through the annals of history. The bitter clash between Ricimer and me culminated in the siege of Rome, a grim chapter that heralded my fall from power. As the days of the siege dragged on, hope became a scarce resource, and survival was a daily struggle. The city that had once been the heart of the empire now echoed with the cries of its desperate inhabitants. In those final days, I found myself grappling with both physical and emotional exhaustion. The relentless pressure from Ricimer's forces left us with dwindling supplies and morale. My loyal soldiers, though brave and steadfast, were no match for the overwhelming tide of Ricimer's army. Each day, more of Rome's proud defenders fell, and the city's defenses crumbled bit by bit. Amidst the chaos, I took solace in moments of quiet reflection. I often sought the company of my wife, Marcia Euphemia, whose unwavering support was a beacon of light in those dark times. We would speak of our past, our dreams, and our fears. The thought of our daughter, Alypia, and the life she was forced into because of my decisions haunted me constantly. Her sacrifice was a heavy burden on my heart, a reminder of the compromises and sacrifices that defined my reign. As Rome's walls finally gave way, the reality of our defeat set in. Ricimer's forces poured into the city, and the once great capital was transformed into a battlefield. The streets, which had once been filled with the vibrant life of the empire, now ran with blood and echoed with the sounds of war. In a final act of desperation, I disguised myself as a beggar, hoping to escape the inevitable wrath of Ricimer, but even in disguise, my fate was sealed. I was discovered by Ricimer's men, my identity unmasked, and my last moments approached swiftly. In the shadow of the empire I had tried so hard to save, I was beheaded, a tragic end to a life filled with both triumph and sorrow. The news of my death spread quickly, and the empire mourned the loss of yet another leader. Yet even in death, my story did not end. The legacy I left behind, the struggles and triumphs of my reign, would continue to shape the course of history. As we move forward, let us not only remember the fall, but also the legacy that remains. My life, though marked by tragedy and betrayal, was also a testament to the enduring spirit of Rome. Join me in the next part, where we explore the echoes of my legacy and the lessons that can be drawn from my journey. As I reflect from the shadows of history, the legacy I left behind is a complex tapestry of ambition, struggle, and ultimate sacrifice. My reign, though fraught with turmoil, remains a chapter in the grand saga of the Roman Empire that offers lessons for generations to come. The immediate aftermath of my death was a period of further instability and chaos. Ricimer, the kingmaker, had secured his dominance, but the cost was high. Rome, weakened by internal strife and external threats, continued its inexorable decline. My efforts to restore stability and prosperity, though ultimately unsuccessful, were driven by a genuine desire to see the empire thrive once more. One aspect of my legacy that endures is the reminder of the perils of political ambition and betrayal. The alliance with Ricimer, born out of necessity, ultimately proved to be my undoing. It is a cautionary tale of how power, when sought without integrity, can lead to destruction. The bitter lessons of my relationship with Ricimer underscore the importance of trust and loyalty in governance. My dedication to the welfare of the empire and its citizens, despite the many setbacks, remains a testament to my commitment as a leader. I endeavored to reform the administration, improve infrastructure, and fortify the empire's defenses. Though many of these efforts were thwarted by circumstances beyond my control, they reflect a sincere effort to uphold the ideals of Roman governance. The personal sacrifices I made, particularly the marriage of my daughter Alypia to Ricimer, are a poignant part of my legacy. Alypia's endurance and strength in the face of such a fate are a testament to her resilience and courage. Her story, intertwined with mine, highlights the personal costs of political maneuvering and the burdens borne by those close to power. In the broader context of Roman history, my reign is a chapter that illustrates the challenges faced by the empire in its twilight years. The external threats from barbarian invasions, the internal divisions, and the struggle to maintain the integrity of a vast and diverse realm were all part of the complex reality I navigated as emperor. As we look back, my legacy serves as a reminder of the resilience and determination that defined the Roman spirit, even in its most trying times. It is a story of hope amidst despair, of striving for greatness in the face of insurmountable odds. And be this a warning: beware of men, lobbyists, or moneyed interests strong enough to play kingmaker to kings. In the final part of my story, we will explore how these echoes of the past continue to resonate today. From the sites where history was made to the coins that bear the marks of an era long gone, my tale lives on. Join me as we conclude this journey and find inspiration in the remnants of a bygone age. To better understand history, visit the places where history comes alive. Endeavor to follow in my footsteps with visits to Constantinople, modern-day Istanbul, seat of the Eastern Roman Empire, as well as the majesty of Rome. As you walk the ancient streets of Rome, it is easy to be transported back to a time when the empire was the epicenter of the known world. The ruins whisper stories of emperors, soldiers, and citizens who lived, fought, and died to shape the course of history. Among these echoes is my story, a tale of ambition, struggle, and sacrifice. Today, the remnants of my reign can be found in the very heart of Rome. The Forum, once a bustling hub of political and social activity, still stands as a testament to the empire's enduring legacy. Here, you can almost hear the echoes of Senate debates and the footsteps of those who once walked these streets with purpose and determination. For those passionate about history, collecting ancient coins offers a tangible connection to the past. Coins bearing my likeness and inscriptions serve as small yet powerful reminders of my time as emperor. Each coin tells a story, from the ideals we strived for to the challenges we faced. For example, on the obverse or front of this solidus coin is my likeness. The reverse depicts Leo I and myself, together holding hands to represent unity of the two Romes. Holding one of these ancient artifacts in your hand is like holding a piece of history, a moment frozen in time. The solidus was a gold coin introduced by Emperor Constantine III in 312 AD to stabilize the Roman currency system. Made of nearly pure gold and weighing about 4.5 grams, It featured a portrait of the emperor on the obverse and various symbolic images on the reverse. The solidus became the standard gold coin in the Roman and Byzantine economies, known for its reliability and value in trade. Its stability made it a trusted currency across Europe and the Mediterranean, and it influenced coinage systems in successor states and neighboring civilizations. The term soldier is derived from solidus, reflecting its use in paying Roman soldiers. Now, allow me to share a personal message reflecting the spirit of our journey together. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of my life and reign. Our channel, known as the Renaissance Spirit, is dedicated to the pursuits of a just, equitable, and humanitarian world. We delve into a myriad of topics, including history, politics, religion, personal development, society, culture, social and environmental justice, and the liberal arts and sciences, with a particular focus on ancient Rome and the Roman Empire. The Renaissance was a golden age that heralded the pursuit of knowledge, reviving wisdom lost to time while uncovering new insights. It gave birth to the Enlightenment and the Age of Reason, embracing truth, knowledge, and a compassionate understanding of humanity and our shared history. This spirit opens the world to us individually and collectively, enhancing our stewardship of the earth and our relationships with one another. The Renaissance spirit is more than just a philosophy. It is a way of living, learning, growing, and thinking. Please subscribe, turn on notifications, and share our channel. If you are eager to explore and experience the wonders of life, I am confident you will enjoy the other videos on our channel. Please peruse our content and let me know in the comments what you gain from them and what topics you would like to see covered. Before you go, take our quiz to discover if you embody the Renaissance spirit. Living the Renaissance spirit means engaging with history, not as a distant past, but as a living dialogue, constantly informing and enriching our present. So, dear traveler through time, let us continue this journey together, finding inspiration in the stories of those who came before us and forging a future guided by wisdom and compassion. Thank you for being part of this exploration. The legacy of Rome, and indeed my own story, lives on through your curiosity and passion. Live the Renaissance spirit.